Today's lesson is volume of spheres. A sphere has one basic measurement, and that's the length of its radius. Remember from our area and perimeter lesson that your radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the outside. Another shape that we're going to deal with today is a hemisphere, and a hemisphere is just half of a sphere. So we're going to find the area when we're doing hemispheres of the whole sphere, and then we're just going to cut it in half, and we'll see that when we get to example 2 here. So starting with our volume equation, we have volume equals 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. So we're going to use that for our example here. And we know that our radius is 8 centimeters from our shape. So we're going to plug that in. And we're going to clean this up a little bit by doing our 8 cubed. And 8 cubes, or 8 times 8 times 8, is 512. Now, if we want to pull out our calculator and multiply this, we can. And remember, when we put this in the calculator, we have a few options. We can use the pi button, or we can use 3.14 for pi. Now, your directions when you get to the actual task exam should tell you, so pay close attention to that. For now, I'm just going to use 3.14. So I put 4/3 times 3.14 times 512 in my calculator, and I got 2,143.573333, and it goes on. And our unit for this is centimeters, and we're cubing our radius, so it's going to be centimeters cubed. And this is the point where you'd want to pay attention to your directions and see if it tells you where to round to. Ours didn't have anything like that, so I'm going to leave my answer just like that for now. Now let's take a look at example 2. This one is the hemisphere. It's the half circle, or half the ball. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find our volume the exact same way, and then before we're done, we're just going to cut our volume in half because it's only half of the shape. So we're going to start with our same equation. And we know that our radius from the picture is 3 feet, so we're going to plug that in. And I like to keep everything together. I rewrite everything every time so I don't lose anything. And we're going to do the 3 feet cubed first because we're following our PEMDAS rules. And that's going to give us 27. And now you can plug this into your calculator again. We'll do 4/3 times 3.14 and then times 27. And when I plug this all into my calculator like that, I get 113.04. And our unit was feet, and we're cubing them, so it would be feet cubed. Oh, we're not quite done. Remember, we have to divide this in half now because we have a hemisphere, so let me get my box off of there, and then we're going to divide our answer by 2 because it's half of the shape is a hemisphere. And so that's going to give us 56.52, and it's still feet cubed. So there's our final answer. Now scrolling down to our exercises, we're going to talk about leaving our answers in terms of pi this time. So we're going to start with our same equation. And we know that our radius is 5 feet, so we're going to plug that in. We're still going to follow our PEMDAS rules, which is going to be cubing our 5 feet first, which gives us 125. Now, instead of multiplying pi into my answer here, I'm going to leave pi in my answer. So I'm only going to multiply the 4/3 times 125 and then my answer will have pi in it. So 4/3 times 125 as a fraction would give you 500/3 pi, and our unit is cubic feet. Or if you were doing it as a decimal, you should get 166.7 pi still in our answer, and our unit is cubic feet. Number 2 is just like our second example. Start with your equation. Our radius from the image is 6 inches. So we'll plug that in. And we're going to do our exponents first, which would give us 216. And then we're just going to clean this up by multiplying the 4/3 times 216, and I'm going to leave pi in my answer just like I did before. And that's going to give me 144 pi, and cubic inches is our unit. So again, if you're using the pi button, that's one option. Using 3.14 is another, and then leaving your answer in terms of pi like we did in the last two examples is your third options. And your directions should specify this for the task exam, so you want to pay close attention to your directions. Number 3 is looking a little different over here. Instead of our radius, we have the diameter. And remember from our area and perimeter units that the diameter is the whole width across the sphere or the circle, and our radius is halfway across. So we just need to take our diameter here, the 7 inches, and cut it in half. So half of 7 inches is going to give us 3.5. So that's going to be our radius. So we'll set up our equation the same way. Plug in 3.5 for our radius. I'm plugging the 3.5 cubed, or 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.5 into my calculator because I don't want to figure that out in my head. And I'm getting 42.87. 875, excuse me. And now we're going to clean this up by multiplying the 4/3 times 42.875. And I'm coming up with 57.2. So our volume is going to be 57.2. And remember, we still have the pi in our answer, and our unit is inches cubed. I think you're ready to try a few on your own.